Okay, Sunday night football. It's the Baltimore Ravens, 12-5 last year, led by head coach John Harbaugh, heading to Buffalo to play the 13-4 Buffalo Bills and their defensive head coach, Sean McDermott. This preview, the Ravens and the Bills, is presented by DraftKings. Don't let one bad leg haunt your parlay. The NFL season is here, and DraftKings Sportsbook is rewriting the rules with Ghost Leg. Here's how it works. Build any 3+ leg pregame NFL parlay on Sunday. Apply your Ghost Leg token, and if one leg loses, DraftKings makes it vanish like it never existed and pays you out in cash for the rest. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app and use code Gruden, Gruden. Ghost your losses and get your payout. In partnership with DraftKings Sportsbook, the crown is yours. This Top of Mind is brought to you by Chevrolet. Football season is here, and whether you're grinding through the week or gearing up for kickoff, there's one ride that's always game ready, the Chevy Silverado. Built for the hustle, ready for the game. Silverado is America's most dependable full-size truck. Head to Chevy.com to learn more and build your own Chevy Silverado. Both of these head coaches came off of the Andy Reid tree. Both of these guys coached against Andy Reid, and these guys have had great success as head coaches. The only success they haven't had really is beating Andy Reid in the playoffs. Playoffs? Anyways, this is not a playoff game. This is the first game of the regular season, and both of these teams have a lot of regular season hardware, man. I mean, they got MVPs. They got division banners hanging everywhere. Offensive records have been smashed. But they got to get it done in the playoffs, and both of these teams know that. How much does this game really matter in the big picture? Playoff seeding, it might matter. Both of these teams would love to have home field advantage. Think about the Buffalo Bills. 8-0 last year at home during the regular season. 2-0 at home during the playoffs. That's 10-0. Baltimore has a decisive home field advantage. If this season comes down to a tiebreaker based on who wins this game, who might get home field advantage, this game becomes a lot more meaningful in the big picture. The Ravens have a gauntlet of a schedule. Not only are they playing at Buffalo today, they've got back-to-back games with Detroit and Kansas City, two teams that went 15-2 last year. Then they got to play the Rams and the Texans. They got to play 5 division champions in their first 6 games before the bye week. What the hell? The Buffalo Bills, they play a tough Baltimore Raven team here. Then they play 6 teams in a row that have a losing record. They play the Jets, the Dolphins, the Saints, the Falcons, and the Panthers. Who's making these schedules, man? That doesn't seem equitable, but that's the way it goes. Just live with it. The Ravens and Bills played 2 times last year, and I know both staffs, both teams are probably studying both of those films all off season because they have a history that's very unique. In the Week 4 game, the Baltimore Ravens smashed Buffalo 35-10. Remember, that was a game where Buffalo did not have their star nickel corner, Taron Johnson. Milano and Bernard, their 2 inside linebackers, did not play. And Baltimore, well, it's hard to say, but they kicked their ass. They had about 300 yards rushing, and it was an ugly game. It was Josh Allen's lowest output of the season. Their outstanding receiver, Khalil Shakir, hurt his ankle in that game. He didn't finish it. But the Ravens did sack Josh Allen 3 times. They pressured him 15 times. And when they got the lead, Buffalo became one-dimensional, and it was ugly. And then in the divisional playoff game, in the playoffs, Buffalo wins 27-25. A very cold night in Buffalo. What do you expect in January, huh? Anyways, that game, think about it. Everybody talks about the 2-point pass that Andrews didn't handle. The Ravens lost the turnover battle 3-0. Lamar Jackson had an interception. He had a fumble. Mark Andrews had a fumble. The Ravens had 12 penalties in the game. No, they had 13 penalties for 122 yards. And did you know the Ravens are the number 2 penalized team in football last year? But when you have 13 penalties, 122 yards, 3 turnovers and you get none, you're probably going to lose that football game. And that's what happened. The one thing the Buffalo Bills did better than everybody last year was the turnover margin. They were plus 24, 32 takeaways, and only 8 giveaways. Josh Allen was incredible protecting the football, but when you go plus 24, you're going to kick a lot of people's ass. That's really impressive. And Baltimore wasn't all bad. They only turned it over 11 times on offense, which is outstanding, but their defense only got 17 takeaways. That's hard to believe. A Raven defense only took it away 17 times. But the turnover margin is the secret sauce in both of these teams. This game features 2 high-scoring offenses. Both teams averaged over 30 points a game last year, and there's a lot of continuity on both of these teams, man. You're going to recognize all the stars, not a lot of new players. These are the top 2 red zone offenses in football. You know, you can make all these yards, Jake, but you got to put it across the freaking goal line. And the number 2 offense doing that was Buffalo. They scored touchdowns 72% of the time. And Baltimore scored 74% of the time. And a lot of it is because of these 2 quarterbacks, Lamar Jackson and Josh Allen. How about having this game? You know, Tirico, my good friend Mike Tirico, gets to broadcast this game. Lamar Jackson and Josh Allen, the top 2 quarterbacks in the MVP race last year. I wonder how it really went down. Josh Allen had 383 votes. Lamar Jackson got 362. But who had the votes? Did you have a vote, Jake?
Nope.
Did you, Clay?
No vote.
Who voted on this? I want to know. Whoever it was understands this. Last year, statistically, let's just rethink this. Josh Allen, 3,700 yards passing, 28 touchdowns, 6 interceptions. This man, Josh Allen, has combined for 40 touchdowns, rushing and receiving 5 times. He's done that. Only A-Rod has done it that many times. Magnificent production. Lamar Jackson threw for 41-72, man. He had 41 touchdowns, 5 picks, led the league with a 119.6 QB rating, and he's the first man in history to throw for over 4,000 and run for over 900. And I ask you this, how the hell did he not get the MVP with those numbers? Plus, these 2 men have come into their organizations, let's say 2018. Josh Allen is 77-38. Lamar's 78-38. These guys win games, man. And that winning percentage puts them 2nd and 3rd in the NFL behind Pat Mahomes. This game has everything we're looking for. It has one thing, though, to consider. Not many of these great players played at all in the preseason. They haven't been tackled. They haven't been live in the pocket. They haven't had to do a lot during the preseason. Let's see how conditioning takes its toll. The Bills, Tyler Bass is their field goal kicker. Keep an eye on him. He had an up and down regular season. He missed 5 extra points. He missed 5 field goals, but he did go 4 for 4 from over 50 yards. And that's the Miami Dolphins, what he did to them. At the buzzer, he hit a bomb to beat them. And he was 100% in the playoffs. So this guy can handle cold weather. He can handle pressure. The Baltimore Ravens are going to see their rookie kicker, Tyler Loop, make his debut. All he has to do is succeed Justin Tucker, the greatest kicker in the history of football. And Loop, he is a 6th-round draft choice from Arizona. He had a pretty solid preseason. He was 9 for 11 kicking field goals, 6 for 6 on PAT extra points. But did you see him go 5 for 6 from over 50 yards? He made a 61-yarder in the preseason against the Commanders. How the hell do they find these kickers, man? Freaking Harbaugh, special teams guru. That's how he came up in this business. Key injuries to think about. Remember, it's a couple days early here, so you better look into these. The Ravens, we want you to know, our Darius Washington, key safety from last year. I think he had a lot to do with their turnaround on defense. He's out for the year. He hurt his Achilles during the offseason program. Jair Alexander, this big-time corner they got from Green Bay, I haven't seen him on the practice field. He's been hurt. They say he might start practicing here this week prior to the game. I don't know his status. That's a big concern. Isaiah Likely, excellent tight end, productive receiver. He's got an injury. He may not be ready to play as well. Lamar Jackson did hurt his foot on August 20th in a drill. Everybody was freaked out, including me, but I think he's going to be okay. And Patrick Ricard has been out a little bit with a hamstring. I call him the straw man. He's the guy that stirs the drink here, man. He lines up everywhere. And over here for the Buffalo Bills, take a look now. Their first-round draft choice, man, they were counting on Maxwell Hairston out of Kentucky. I think he's out of this game. Tre'Davious White, former Bill great corner, left to the Rams, went to the Ravens, came back. They were counting on him to contribute. I think he's going to miss this game right now as we sit here. And then finally, their leading receiver, slot receiver, Khalil Shakir, he got hurt in their little scrimmage that they had. I think there's a chance he misses this game. There's a lot to look into here before you do anything. Let's get into the matchup. This Ravens offense, Bills defense matchup is brought to you by Fox 1. On Fox 1, you can stream your favorite live sports. So you never miss that. Did you see that moment? That means Fox NFL Sundays are now on Fox 1. I can't stand delays. I need to watch it live. It's NFL Sundays, all streaming live, the way it was meant to be watched. Start your 7-day free trial today. Offers are subject to change. Go to Fox 1 for complete terms and conditions. Fox 1, we live for live. Streaming now, Fox 1, sign up today. Okay, the Baltimore Ravens offense against the Buffalo Bills defense. A lot to unpack here. I think this matchup favors the Ravens a little bit. This is, I think, the best offense in all of football. They broke numerous franchise records, numerous NFL records. There's not much this offense can't do. And they have just about everybody back, pending a couple injuries we need to look into. Todd Monken, the offensive coordinator, #1 in total offense, #1 rushing attack, #7 passing attack, #3 in scoring, and they're great in the red zone. What else you want to know? They're led by Lamar Jackson, a do-it-all quarterback. He had a foot injury in training camp. Let's see if he's 100%. If he is, it's a deadly combination to stop. Starting with the running game, he can hand the ball to Derrick Henry, and after that exchange, just the simple fact of Lamar Jackson carrying out his fake on the disconnect paralyzes the backside of the defense. And he can run, throw, and he's making great decisions, and they're extremely multiple. And now it's his third year in this Todd Monken system, so the communication, the adjustments happen with ease. I was really impressed with watching the Ravens practice. There's a lot of offense that they can pull off, 30.5 points per game. They're balanced, they're explosive. We already talked about the statistics, but you have to put it in perspective. They just did something no one has ever done before. Throwing the ball for over 4,000 yards is a great accomplishment. 41 touchdowns, 5 picks is efficiency. But then when you package that with over 3,000 yards rushing, you're talking about a feat that's never happened. The dynamic dual threat Jackson, and he's in the backfield sharing the spotlight with Derrick Henry. And calling him a beast is an understatement. Calling him a freak show, I don't know what the word is to use. He's the only running back in history to have 1,900 plus seasons with 2 different franchises. And all the naysayers out there that said, he's 30 years old, he's getting old, bullshit. This guy looks great, he is great. And he crushed Buffalo last year, 199 in the first game and 84 in the second game. He averaged 7.1 yards per carry against the Bills. And Buffalo, who plays a lot of nickel defense, has got to do a better job slowing down the beast. The Jackson factor, it's significant. You can't really cut the rush loose against them because if he finds a lane, he can scramble for first downs. They design runs, read options for him, and he's winning in the pocket with great regularity. I don't know what the Ravens are going to do at tight end. They use a lot of 12 personnel, Clay. 1 back, 2 tight ends. How many receivers? 2. Outstanding. But with Isaiah Likely's injury, if he's not ready to go, perhaps Baltimore gets back into 11 personnel with the addition of DeAndre Hopkins. Now you got Hopkins, you got Zay Flowers, and you got Rashad Bateman, 3 receivers you can truck out there. That ain't all bad. Baltimore is a fast starting operation. I like the way they start games. They script their plays, it looks like. They get down the field with efficiency. They're able to get leads. That's impressive. Top of mind for the Buffalo defense, last year in the playoff game, Buffalo blitzed Lamar Jackson more. Almost 45% of his drop back passes were blitzed. And I think Buffalo needs to play more man-to-man against the Ravens. Last year when they played zone coverage, Lamar Jackson was 12 for 12, a touchdown, 180 yards, had a couple scrambles. But when they played man-to-man, Lamar was just 6 out of 13, had an interception, and I think they bottled him up better by taking away one of those gaps with the blitz. So I look for a little bit more pressure man-to-man defense from Buffalo. But let's really be honest about the Bills' defense. They play their ass off, man. If you're a Gruden grinder kind of guy, trying to get the most out of your ability, you will love Buffalo's defense. I mean, you watch Epinesa run to the ball. You watch Cam Lewis come off the bench and run to the ball. Teron Johnson, Bernard. You would think their lives depend on making tackles. I mean, it's a pleasure to watch the effort that they play with. I just think they got to play better collectively. In their 5 playoff losses, think about it, against great offenses and great quarterbacks, just the 5 losses, they've given up 33 points a game. They've given up 33, 27, 27, 42, 38. So in these big moments, right before they get to the Super Bowl, their defense hasn't been able to deliver. This is a team that plays a ton of nickel, 5 defensive backs, Clay. In a base defense, you have 4 defensive backs. How many defensive backs in a nickel?
5.
How many in a base?
4.
And then they play a dime defense with 6. So you got 6 in dime, 5 in nickel, 4 in base. Most teams play 4 at a time, 5 at a time a little bit. Buffalo, on first and second down, played nickel. How many DBs? 5. 89% of the time. And then on third down, they played dime 48% of the time. How many DBs?
6.
So they're smaller guys, more athletic guys that can do different things. But against Derrick Henry, the beast, you might want to bring in a big old linebacker because this sumbitch is big and rugged. Knock on a grease board if you're with me. You guys with me on that? It's incredible effort. We talked about it. They do have secondary issues. I think the big issue is at corner. Maxwell Hairston, their first-round pick, out of the game, I believe. Tre'Davious White, he probably is out of the game. Well, who is going to play over here? Dorian Strong, a rookie? I don't know. Jamarcus Ingram, number 46 from Buffalo, played a little bit last year against Miami, but who's that corner going to be? I want to know who the other safety is going to be opposite Taylor Rapp. They've had problems here. Hamlin struggled last season, and their second-round pick, Cole Bishop, hell, he struggled. I just watched them play the Chicago Bears. They lost 38-0. Bishop didn't play well in that game. I still think they have issues at safety and corner with the injuries, and I wonder if you're going to play 5 DBs at a time and 2 of them are really unproven players against this offense, that's a little bit of a concern. And the depth. They have a bunch of young guys. They went all in the draft. They drafted 5 straight defensive players to this draft, and they were all happy about that. But Hairston's hurt, and then their second, third, fourth, and fifth round pick are defensive linemen. I mean, they got this guy, Walker, out of Kentucky. They got this other guy, Sanders, out of South Carolina. Here's another one, Landon Jackson, over here out of Arkansas. 3 D linemen. I watched them against the Bears, and I'm like, come on, let's go. Do we have enough depth? Are these rookies ready to play? Is their pad level good enough? Because the starters might come out. I'm worried about their depth a little bit. Let's take a look at the matchups. We know Lamar can do it all, so you have to have a plan for his athleticism and scrambling. But let's take a look at who's in the game. Number 42, Patrick Ricard. I call him the straw man, you see, because he's the straw that stirs all their drinks. He's an on-the-line tight end. He blocks for Henry. He's the lead back right in front of Henry. He's a pass protector. He's an H-back. He's the straw man. He stirs the drink. Is 42 healthy, and is he in the game? And when he's in the game, where is he? Tight end, fullback, H-back. You got to know where he is at all times. Oftentimes, he takes you to the football. But the offensive line of the Ravens is intact from last year. They have a Pro Bowl left tackle, Ronnie Stanley. They have a Pro Bowl center in Tyler Linderbaum. The right guard is Daniel Fa'alele. He's the biggest right guard you will see. I love this guy. He's a thumper. And the second-year man, Roger Rosengarten, is coming into his own at right tackle. They do have a new left guard, Andrew Voorhees. So circle that position. That could be something to watch. 7th-round pick a couple years ago out of Southern Cal. The tight ends are a big part of this package. Ricard essentially is a tight end at times, but Mark Andrews is back. And everybody's like, he cost us that game. Hey, you wouldn't be in the game without Mark Andrews. Bunch of red zone touchdowns, had some injuries last year. He's in a contract year. This guy's a hell of a receiver. Isaiah Likely, that's a guy to keep an eye on. If he doesn't go, they're going to go to 11 personnel. 1 back, 1 tight end. How many receivers, Clay?
3.
They're going to see DeAndre Hopkins. Charlie Kolar, number 88. I love this guy. He's a blocking tight end. You should see some of the trait combinations, the tackle tight end combinations he puts on tape. Functional route runner. Expect to see Charlie Kolar out of Iowa State with Andrews quite a bit if Likely can't go. It's a guy to look at, fantasy football fans. I love the receivers of the Ravens. They finally got a Pro Bowl receiver right here, Zay Flowers. First time in 29 years they've had a Pro Bowl receiver. He did not play last year in the playoff game. Only had 10 yards receiving in the first game. They are going to get the ball to Flowers, I'm telling you. They've been working on this matchup against Teron Johnson quite a bit. I do look for some real fun stuff, Teron Johnson against Zay Flowers. And then I say this, the D-line for the Buffalo Bills. Who is it going to be to get the pressure on Lamar Jackson? Greg Rousseau, number 50, was re-signed in the offseason. He's their best player up front. He's a good run defender. He has 15 tackles for loss. He has 8 sacks, good playing strength, and a lot of stamina. The other end could be Joey Bosa, the former LA Charger. He signed a 1-year prove-it deal. Bosa has missed a lot of action in the last few years. He's only got 14 sacks the last 3 years. But if they can regain his form, that would be a huge bolster for this front. They lost Von Miller. They replaced them with Bosa. And I love A.J. Epinesa. High effort guy. He can play in the base or he can play in the sub. And inside, it's Ed Oliver, number 93. He'll be going up against Fa'alele. I expect Ed Oliver to go over here and go up against Andrew Voorhees, their new left guard. He had a down year last year, had some injuries. He's number 91. And Ed Oliver is a hell of a player. So keep an eye on that. Daquan Jones is the nose tackle. He'll come out in some passing situations, but he's a solid NFL player. But who's it going to be to stop the running game? Lamar Jackson, Derrick Henry, these 2 linebackers, Terrell Bernard, their team captain, and Matt Milano, number 58, who's had a lot of injuries the last 2 years, will play a big role. And don't forget about Dorian Williams, number 42. He led the team in tackles. When Milano was hurt, it was Dorian Williams. When Bernard was hurt, guess what? Dorian Williams. So between these 3 linebackers, they're going to have to do a great job against Derrick Henry. Remember, first play of the game last year in Baltimore, Henry went for 87 yards on a wham play. They got to do a great job playing off blocks and finding number 22. The outside corners, Christian Benford over here against Rashad Bateman. That'll be one to keep an eye on. And over here, DeAndre Hopkins. Who's it going to be? Is it going to be the rookie Strong? Who do we have if these 2 top corners are not ready to go? And what's going to happen at Strong safety? Cole Bishop? Is it going to be Hamlin? Who's it going to be? We got to eliminate the big plays. This is a big-time offense with some great matchups up front. Let's see how it goes. Okay, the Buffalo Bills offense against the Baltimore Ravens defense, we have some similar issues in terms of how many different things the Bills offense does well. extremely balanced, extremely productive, 30.9 points per game. And it all starts with an offense that wants to run the ball. And they have such a diverse running attack, and they use a committee to do it. They have James Cook, over 1,000 yards. They just re-signed him. They've got Ray Davis, another running back with 450 yards. They used Ty Johnson on third down to pick up blitzes, catch passes. Hell, he ran the ball for over 200 yards. And they got a quarterback that's big, strong, and elusive. He ran for over 500 yards and 12 touchdowns. The running game consists of just about everything. NCAA read option plays, gap schemes. They can do it all. And Josh Allen can throw the ball as well to a bevy of different receivers. What I love about what Joe Brady and Josh Allen have done, Joe Brady, the offensive coordinator, has really gotten through, I think, to Josh Allen. We don't need a number one receiver. Stephon Diggs took off. Gabe Davis took off. They are distributing the ball in an uncommon manner. They don't care who gets the ball. They'll check it down to a back. They'll throw it to a different tight end. They have a bunch of receivers. They clearly don't have a number one receiver. And I think it's really helped Josh Allen drop back and just play quarterback. He's getting through progressions, and he's getting the ball out of his hands fast. They emphasize the quick passing game. Allen does not hold the ball very long. Yeah, he only got sacked 14 times, and you should compliment the offensive line. But that ball's gone before you can see it, man. It's coming out fast. It's a credit to their scheme. The Josh Allen factor is his evolution. In his early years, he would never give up on a play. Great competitor, great playing strength. He would fight his ass off to get a first down, might fumble the ball. But he's playing much more efficiently. There aren't any bad plays. No fumbles, no sacks, no interceptions. They've reduced the penalties. And it's incredible. It's a real compliment to him. He still has great arm talent, playing strength and scrambling ability to create plays out of nothing. And that makes them a double-edged sword. The run game, the pass game, and the ball distribution, it is nasty. Now, the Raven defense comes in here with the number one rushing defense. Everybody says that. Whoa, you're not going to run against Baltimore. Well, last year in that playoff game, Buffalo ran it 36 times for 147 yards and 3 rushing touchdowns in a cold-ass night. And I think that, all right, does not set well with these Ravens. That is not common. Baltimore understands by being the number one rushing team, people come in to throw the ball against them. They were 31st in the league last year in pass defense. Something had to be done. So they went out and they signed Jair Alexander, cornerback from Green Bay. In the first round, they took Malachi Starks, a safety man out of Georgia who creates turnovers. And they're going to try to get more turnovers. They only had 17 last year, which is very uncommon. And one of the reasons the Ravens don't win in the playoffs, it's not all on Lamar Jackson, Jake. They don't get turnovers. And that's what they did with Ray Lewis and Ed Reed and Suggs. They used to piss me off getting all these turnovers. God dang those Ravens. That's big. They must be alert for up-tempo. I think Josh Allen is going to come in here with an up-tempo offense. Second-year defensive coordinator Zach Orr, his defense improved tremendously. They gave up a lot of points in the first 10 games, but in the last 6 or 7 weeks, this Raven defense improved dramatically. And I think you're going to continue to see improvement should these new defenders come in and help them. They play a base 3-4 defense, which means they have 4 defensive backs in there. Clay, you got me? They will play some nickel. They were hurt last year big time in the passing game in their underneath coverage. So we got to keep an eye on who is the other linebacker opposite Roquan Smith. They lost Malik Harrison. They lost Board. They have Trenton Simpson in there right now, but they benched Simpson last year because of his struggles against coverage. So let's take a look at some of the matchups in this game. Josh Allen, we know he just got a 6-year, $330 million extension. 117 straight games. The man has been very durable. Mitch Trubisky will be his backup. Allen did not participate in any of the preseason games. So is there a little rust? Probably not, but we will see. The up front battles, I love this Buffalo Bill offensive line. It's the same guys that played against these same guys last year. It'll be a personal, physical, trash-talking. It'll be a very rival-like game. Deion Dawkins, 4-time Pro Bowler, one of the best, number 73 at left tackle. He did have 14 penalties last year, which is second in the league. We got to keep an eye on that. But Oweh, outstanding pass rusher for the Ravens. He had 10 sacks last year. He's got speed to get the corner. He has a good inside move. And they have Robinson, number 95, backing him up. Dawkins, as good as he is, stay away from the penalties, but he'll have his hands full. Spencer Brown. Nobody talks about Spencer Brown, the right tackle of the Bills. Heck of a player, long, tall. He's got to be 6'8". I think he only gave up 1 sack last year, and it was to Kyle Van Noy, the veteran outside linebacker defensive end of the Ravens. Van Noy, number 53, had 12.5 sacks last year, so Baltimore has 2 guys that can get home. And keep an eye on this guy, Jake, number 45, Mike Green, second-round pick out of Marshall. He led college football last year in sacks. I'm hearing that this guy's had a hell of a camp. So 45 Green, 53 Van Noy with Spencer Brown. That ought to be fun. And inside, the center, Connor McGovern, David Edwards at left guard, and Osiris Torrance at right guard are going to see 2 of the premier defensive tackles in the AFC. I love Matabuke, number 92. Got a huge contract 2 years ago, 3 sacks in 1 game last year against the Bengals. This guy is the leader of the front, number 92. And Travis Jones, when I went up to the Ravens, and after studying the Ravens for a few days, I really believe this is an emerging star in the league. He is huge. Connecticut, sheds blocks, always on his feet. I think he's got to rev up his pass rush for this Raven defense to really take off. But I love these 2 defensive tackles, and they have an arsenal of guys that can get home off the edge. The running back, we talked about how diverse these Buffalo Bills are. James Cook just got a big contract, but understand this about Cook. He can catch it too. 32 catches, 1,000 yards on the ground. But understand this, he only plays 45% of the plays. That's how much they like Ray Davis and they like Ty Johnson. They put a fresh guy in there and they bring him out of his cage, man, and these guys are tough. And Baltimore's linebackers, they got to be ready. We know Roquan Smith's a Pro Bowler. He's an impact player. He's instinctive. But who is it going to be at the other side? Trenton Simpson gets his job back. It's important to keep an eye on him. They also drafted Teddy Buchanan out of California, number 40. They signed Jake Hummer, number 35 from the Rams. They have to cover these checkdowns and screens and some of these intermediate tight end routes better. At the safety position, you got to really envy the Baltimore Ravens. I mean, Kyle Hamilton, he is a freak, man. He can play free, strong. He can play nickel, dime linebacker, 2-time Pro Bowler. Not many guys are more versatile than Kyle Hamilton. Well, they just drafted Malachi Starks in the first round. He'll be wearing number 24. At Georgia, he had incredible versatility. Sideline to sideline range, ball skills to make some acrobatic catches. He's a turnover magnet, and I love this. This is his first test in the National Football League. He's a great kid. We spent a lot of time with him. To get your first start against Josh Allen and this offense, whoa, that's got me feeling nicey. I can't wait to see these 2 guys play together. They got a great nickel corner, Marlon Humphrey. He's a mean savage in there. He went to the Pro Bowl last year, led the AFC in interceptions. He can force fumbles. He has no fear in the briar patch here. Very physical. And his matchup against Khalil Shakir, I think, is one of the ages. I love it. I don't know if Shakir is going to play. If he doesn't, it's going to be Elijah Moore. Elijah Moore is in Buffalo now. He caught 61 passes last year, 530 yards for the Browns. I don't think they're going to have a terrible downgrade if Moore has to play. This guy's solid, man. And out here on the corner, let's take a look at what the Ravens are doing. They brought in Jair Alexander, the ex-Pro Bowler from the Packers. But Green Bay let him go because he had a lot of what, Jake? Injuries. He had a lot of injuries. So here he is in Baltimore, and already another ugly injury to start this season. Will he play or won't he play? Who's the backup corner going to be? Is it going to be TJ Tampa, a draft pick from 2 years ago? I don't know. But I do want to point this out. This matchup for me, Keon Coleman. I want everybody to remember this name. Number 0, Keon who, Clay? Coleman. I love this guy. He had 556 yards last year on 29 catches, 19.2. But all my sources say, whoop, did you see Keon Coleman in training camp? Damn, did you see Keon Coleman? They get all these heavy formations, all this run action. And if you play one-on-one with this 6'3", 220-pound man out of Florida State, he can burn you. I think this is a rising player in the league. I think Keon Coleman can win this game for Buffalo. Keep an eye on that. Their other receiver is Joshua Palmer. Palmer came over from the Chargers, had a quiet year, 39 catches, 584 yards in that run-it offense in Charger land. He missed the playoffs, but they like him here in Buffalo. And his backup is Curtis Samuel, who's had some injuries in training camp. Samuel had 31 grabs. I don't think Josh Allen really cares who gets it. He don't care. Just get the ball out of your hand. They got good players that play great together. This Nate Wiggins, to me, is a lot like Keon Coleman is to the Buffalo Bills. Wiggins is in his second year out of Clemson, former number 1 pick. He's wearing number 2. Wiggins is going to be a star, I think. He's got the size. He's got the coverage ability. He'll tackle. And he is confident, man. He's a rising star. So I look for Wiggins to come over here with Palmer. He could come over here and get Keon Coleman. But we got 2 really good emerging second-year players, Keon Coleman and Nate Wiggins. And then finally, the Bills have a lot invested in their tight end position. Dalton Kincaid is a first-round pick, missed some time last year, just had 44 catches. They need more out of Kincaid, especially if Shakir is out of this game. I would expect Kincaid to see some shots. And Dawson Knox is a good receiver as well. 22 catches, 311 yards. They use him creatively in the running game. And when they need a blocker at tight end, they bring in this beast, number 70, Alec Anderson. He's an offensive tackle. They'll play with 6 offensive linemen. And really, nobody does this more than the Buffalo Bills. I mean, hell, they use this jumbo personnel almost 15% of the time. So when Alec Anderson comes in and reports as an eligible receiver, remember this too. They'll throw the ball 25% of the times. They might even throw a pass to this guy. Wouldn't that be something? Indeed it would. But there's a lot of exciting things going on in this game. Josh Allen, a bevy of different receivers, a diverse running game against the Baltimore Ravens. What a way to start the season. You know, I was looking at these DraftKings. This is cool stuff, man. I see Keon Coleman. I told you how much I like this guy. He had 556 yards last year. For him to get 1,000 yards, it's 3-to-1 odds, Jake. You with me? I would take that. I would go all in on Keon Coleman, man. He's a good kid, a great guy to root for, too. The other bet I like is the total points scored in this game. The number is 51.5 right now. Do you know that in the last 5 games these two have met, they've never scored more than 45 points except last year's playoff game. And that was on a frozen tundra, man. So I'm going to take the under. Week 1, none of these starters have played much. I'm going with the under. And I would take the under on Baltimore or Buffalo. I don't think either team is going to score more than 25.5 points in this first game. I like that. My favorite bet is Derrick Henry. He's listed at 83.5 yards right now in this game. He had 283 yards last year in the 2 games combined and a 7.1 yard average. I think Derrick Henry's going to have a big day. The last one is Josh Allen total passing yards against this Raven defense. Everybody says the 31st ranked defense, Josh Allen, blah, blah, blah. The number's 238.5. Well, in the last 5 games, Josh Allen has averaged 174 yards a game passing. And with Shakir possibly out of the game, I'm going to take the under. There you go. These are tough games to pick, but you got to pick somebody. I love Baltimore in this game. 27-23. It's going to be a fist fight.